The Roman Colosseum. It's a perfect example of ancient Rome's engineering and might. And though it is ancient in every sense of the word, there's something about it that personally draws a direct and clear line from the past into the future.
Well, this brings back fond memories of attending USC Trojan games. Pretty much the same stadium experience. The LA Colosseum is as modern as the original.
I'm in awe every time I walk through the tunnels and emerge out onto the view that recalls pretty much every sporting venue I've ever experienced. But there were a lot of interesting things about this ancient building you may not know. Here are 6 facts about the Roman Colosseum that'll blow your mind. Originally, it wasn't called the Colosseum. If you could somehow travel back in time 2,000 years and ask a Roman for directions to the Colosseum, they'd probably look at you like you were crazy. That's because back then, it was known as the Flavian Amphitheater. It was named for the emperor who built it, Flavius Vespasian. The name Colosseum is believed to have come from a massive 100-foot-high bronze statue called the Colossus of Nero that was placed next to the arena in the 2nd century. Nearly 500,000 people lost their lives in the arena. Battle reenactments, executions, and gladiatorial contests over the course of more than 400 years resulted in the deaths of approximately 400,000 people. But the killing wasn't limited to criminals, gladiators, and just plain unlucky spectators. It's believed that millions of animals were also killed in the hunting displays. One record even speaks of 10,000 animals being slain in one single day of hunting exhibitions. The Colosseum was built by Jewish slaves. Where did the Romans get the money to build the Colosseum? Well, it was financed by the spoils of the sack of Jerusalem in the year 70 ACE. Along with the stolen treasure, the Romans brought back with them tens of thousands of Jewish slaves, thus beginning the Jewish diaspora, the forced removal from their homeland. That's who built the Colosseum. The Colosseum was used to recreate nautical battles. Animal hunts and gladiator battles were regular events, but the Colosseum could also be used to reenact naval battles. Known as a naumachia, these reenactments of sea battles would be staged through a series of canals and aqueducts that would be used to flood the floor of the arena with water. Small versions of ships and their crews would then engage in battle. Entry to the Colosseum was free for ancient Romans. Imagine if your local leaders declared all sporting events free of charge for anyone who wanted to go. And not only that, but free hot dogs and drinks too. That's how the Roman emperors kept their people happy, by giving them free admission and sometimes even free food. But it wasn't general admission where you get to sit wherever you want. If you were wealthy or had good connections, you'd have access to your own really good seats. You can actually see that these premium seats were encased in comfortable, smooth white marble. Now that must have felt great on a hot summer day. In the museum, there are examples of the ultra-wealthy's names carved into the marble. Basically, like season tickets for the NFL.
The dream of every NFL season ticket holder, to look at the guy and say, as a matter of fact, my name is on it.
Much of the original stonework was repurposed. Several earthquakes and general decay had the Colosseum falling into disrepair through the Middle Ages, and people began carting away the valuable stone for their own projects around the city. It was disappearing piece by piece, until Pope Benedict XIV decreed in 1749 that the Colosseum was a sacred site of Christian martyrdom and was off limits. From then on, it was no longer allowed to be vandalized. There's 6 facts you may not have known that you can think about next time you find yourself wandering the ancient Roman amphitheater, the Colosseum.